Welcome back to JCPod. I'm your host, Jaden Chandler. Hey man, week 14 was an interesting one. We had everything from a 3-0 victory to double upsets on Monday night. It was a really, we'll just say, interesting week in the football. Definitely was a good one. Army beat Navy in the NBA. Shout out to the LA Lakers. First ever winners of the in-season NBA Cup. So that was very interesting from them. Shout out to Tyrese Halliburton, who I think didn't do too bad in it either. I don't remember, honestly. But, hey, shout out to the NBA. NBA did its thing. NFL for sure did its thing this weekend. We have another Monday night doubleheader at the end of the season in Week 18, which will be interesting. I wonder who they're going to choose for that. But, yeah, I think so. I just thought about it. I wonder if there is a Monday night game on Week 18. I can't remember if there is or not. I think so. There is one more doubleheader. I just can't remember if it's Week 17 or Week 18 because I truly do not remember if they have Monday Night Football games in Week 18 or not. I don't think they do, but I'm just going to say they do in the off chance they do. But yeah, today's going to be pretty simple. Army and Navy played in college. Shout out Army and Navy. Came down to a goal line stand. That was a really fun game to watch. Shout out Army for the cover. If you were a person who ended up taking that, I said I was going to take Army and ended up not taking them. So nice. No, but rest of the episode is pretty much just going to be all NFL talk today. I'm going to double check. I can't remember. I think the bowl games start this week. Do they start this week? I think they do. They do. They start Saturday this week. So Thursday I will give out pretty much all my picks for the bowl games up until the Tuesday. So how the bowl season will go. I'll explain the bowl season real quick and then we'll hop right into the everything NFL. But I'll probably do the bowl season is, so most of these games, there's a lot of these games on Saturday, so I'll probably give out all the games that are from Saturday to Tuesday, and I'll give out that Tuesday game on my show if I end up giving it out. And then we have games Thursday, Friday. I'll do the same thing on Thursday, give out other games again until next Tuesday, and then we'll basically just do that for the whole bowl season because I think there's pretty much games like every day. There's some sporadic game here on certain days. So I'll try to give out every game I can up until the day I record next for the bowl season. So that's the plan. So yeah, without any further ado, let's hop right into the NFL, man. So yeah, NFL today, we're pretty much going to go over some news, go over some rankings, go over some standings. But before we do that, one more thing. Shout out Shohei Ohtani. $700 million, 10 years. Wow. That's all I got to say. That's impressive. You want to talk about contract. That's some money, man. And he's getting paid about $2 million a year, deferring $680 million till later. So that boy gonna be getting money for a long time. Yeah, Drake May is going to declare for the NFL draft. That's something that's very exciting. Justin Herbert might have a fractured finger. He might be done for the year. There's a lot of injuries this week. Well, again, Justin Jefferson returned after a 7-game absence. He's immediately out. But the good news is it sounds like he might be playing next week. Dak earned himself an MVP by the way he's played. I'm not saying it's all his by now, but he's in the top of the conversation. I think he's the guy to beat right now, even with how rare Brock Purdy is. Man, I won't lie. Last night, if you would have had a Derrick Henry 2-time score, Raheem Mostert 2-time score parlay, or even took those solos, that would have been a nice one last night. That I just saw something about. They both had 2 touchdowns last night in their games, but one was in a winning effort, one was in a losing effort. So I'm really excited to talk about some of those games. I'm just looking for any other big injury news. Mahomes, we have the whole Mahomes thing to talk about. It's going to be interesting. Josh Jacobs got benched in his game, but they might be going back to him as a starter, so that's interesting as well. A lot of weird stuff. Happening in the NFL during this week. Like I said, Herbert fractured his finger. Joe Flacco will be starting the rest of the year. Are we in 2012? No, but let's hop right into some of the games and everything. I'm looking through the news. I think I've covered most of the injury news that's important. C.J. Stroud concussion protocol. Nico Collins himself got hurt, and he ended up out of the game as well. Frank Wycheck. Bro, I'm telling you. Death games, man. They're a real thing. I just texted my boy Rowan about it. The death game, baby. Shout out the Titans. I've mentioned this before on my channel. I'll do it again. If you go down my hall of betting, there's it's kind of like the Bible. But if you go, my betting, when it comes to betting, there's I got all these laws, sub-laws, and everything. There's basically like the Bible. There's commandments to live by. One of the commandments is the death game. Tonight, for sure, proved it for me. No, without a doubt. Frank Wycheck for the Titans. Shout out to him. I saw he fell in his home. That's how he passed away. He was a former great tight end. He was the lateral person in the Music City Miracle. He died at 52. Very sad. Sad. It was honestly like super sad. But I made the joke with my buddy Rowan. It's like, oh shit, I totally forgot that Frank Wycheck died. Titans are covering. There's like no question about it. We were talking for a little bit last night. And sure enough, the Titans win. It's official. Because don't get me wrong, the Dolphins are a really good team. Tyreek Hill got hurt. That seemed like really weird. It's like, oh, what the hell. So by the way, speaking of, won't be counting that against my Nasty Boy record because, of course, it lost, and obviously I know it lost, but it definitely would have hit if Tyreek Hill was healthy. That's all I gotta say. But no, seriously though, in all seriousness, back to the death thing. Like it's starting to become a real thing, man. Like you see something like a Ring of Honor game, jersey, like in the categories thing, like jersey retirement, is probably the third. But like this is. Like, of the bylaws, like, this is probably the worst one. I mean, not the worst one, but this is probably, like, the most powerful one is the death game. Like, the jersey retirement, that's still good, too. They still do, like, honoring game. Like, they're honoring this person for doing what they did. But the death game, man, the death game is... There's some black voodoo magic there, I'm telling you what. Shout out the Titans, man, because they stole a thriller on Monday night. And that's probably what will lead into me talking about these games now. We'll talk about the 2 Monday night games first because those are the most fresh on my mind. Like I said, the Monday night games were honestly pretty exciting for what they were. Packers, Giants, Dolphins, Titans. Going to the night, I told my buddy Rowan joked about it. I was like, I kind of wish the Dolphins just played the Packers so we could at least get something a little bit interesting. Boy, was I wrong. The Titans, able to fight, hung around in there the whole time. They were able to keep it close and ended up stealing it at the win, or stealing it at the end. A lot of people, the refs will come into conversation a lot. I'm not going to say the refs lost in the game, but there's something I do want to bring up. That offensive lineman shifting, that is literally something that defensive linemen do all the time. I hate that the NFL is now rewarding the offense for it, because don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining about the game at all, by the way. I think that the Dolphins still had a chance to get a stop, because I think that happened on like first down or whatever. I can't remember exactly, but definitely did. I will admit, that was a very, very, very hurtful penalty, because I don't even think it was on first down now that I think about it. But regardless, for those of you who don't know what happened, so basically, the defensive linemen, they've been getting in a lot of trouble lately, I guess, for this. And this is the first time I've seen it called to this egregiously, where basically, like, as a defensive lineman, sometimes they start off in one formation, and then they shift and quickly move over to a different spot, so that way, that you get it. It's basically basic football 101. It's like if you see a defensive guy in one spot, you're like, all right, I got this guy in this gap right here, right now. If he moves, all of a sudden, it's like, whoa. The offensive line might have some confusion. It's like, wait, we got to shift this. And if they move right before the snap, and the offensive line's like, wait, we got to do this, you get him, and then they snap the ball. Boom, hella confusion. But for whatever reason last night, the defensive lineman did the shift. Do something I've done myself. I've seen it happen year after year, game after game with no issue. And then the wide receiver flinches. So, the defensive lineman, technically, like, they could have been maybe trying to draw him offside, yes, but technically, if you look at the position of what they're doing, they're just shifting to get into the right position. Like, the strong side was on the other side, one guy's moving to the 3 tech, one guy's moving to the 1 technique, A gap, B gap, switching over like that. They switch gaps to it like that, and they threw a flag on it. I thought it was utterly ridiculous and utterly horseshit call. Horrible call. The NFL officials have been doing... Though I don't want to bash the officials, because officials have honestly had a really good year. Overall, if you look at their year as a whole, like, the fact that we've only talked about them, like, a few games here and there, it's like, okay, they're actually doing their job decently well. But I'll admit, that one they got horribly wrong. That was just something I personally want to bring up, because that's a defensive lineman. It's like, dude, I've done that myself all the time. It's like, yes, don't get me wrong, it does draw them offside sometimes, yes, but that's because they can't hold their water. Like, it's very simple. Like, the offensive lineman, we saw it literally happen to Autry when Tyreek Hill did his motion and then sprinted back out the other way. It caused him to jump offside because he saw motion. It's the same thing that basically happened with the Titans, Westbrook-Ikhine. The defensive lineman moved to get in position. Westbrook-Ikhine thought they were shooting across the line, so he got antsy and jumped. It just sucks. I thought that was a horrible call. I just hate... The reason I want to bring that up is I hate the way the game is going officiating-wise. They were trying to nip in the bud all these, like, little things. It's like, you can just leave it alone. Like, you don't got to worry about that. Like, for example, the Mahomes one offsides. Like, that, don't get me wrong, that was so egregious that, yes, I thought, not Mahomes, but Kadarius Toney play. You know what I mean? Yes, he was offside. Yes, that one should have been called. They can't just let stuff like that go. Like the Marcus Valdez-Scantling one. Yes, that should have been called. They can't let stuff like that go. It seems like... Because I don't want to use the word makeup call, because that's what a lot of people say. And like I said, I've already gone way too long complaining about the officials. It's like, I know they got a tough job. I know it's hard. And don't get me wrong. I I don't envy what they have to do because no matter what, somebody's going to hate them. Like they could have called down Westbrook-Ikhine, and I will say though they could have called down Westbrook-Ikhine, and I don't think anybody bats an eye because they're like, oh okay. It really got like I don't and another thing like Troy and Joe. I mean both commentating crews like ripped the officials last night for Troy and Joe Buck. It was they were mad at the officials taking too long to like. It's a simple play going in the half. I'll admit I didn't see it. I was watching the end of the half of the other game, and I was doing some stuff, so I didn't see what exactly happened at half. But like, Troy's like, "Come on, man, we figured this out in 5 seconds. It's taking them 5 minutes. Can we get this going now?" That's a complaint of mine as well. I don't like how long it takes the official to review stuff sometimes. I feel like they can definitely do a lot quicker. This is basically, and then last night, like I told you, that shift that the defensive lineman had, all the announcers, every single announcer, Chris Fowler, Daniel Orslowski. Jesus Christ, that's hard to. Dano Orslowski. I don't know. I can say it. I know I can say it. I don't know why I'm just tripping right now. But it's Dano. We got Dano, Chris Fowler, and then I forget who the third guy is. Not Theo Riddick. I can't think of who the third guy is. Theo Riddick's an old running back for the Lions. Louis Riddick, maybe. Might be who it is. I can't think of who it is off the top of my head. But even they were like, when that play happened with Seiler and the Dolphins where he jumped offside, they're kind of like, oh. And like, when the officials like came out, like they're all like, oh, okay, yeah, the Westbrook-Ikhine, they got him with the shift. The defensive linemen were getting a good job getting in position. They were able to get a benefit of the call because they were just getting in position and the wide receiver was dumb and made a move at them. And then all of a sudden the officials came out and it's like, we're going to delay a game on the defense. And everyone in the booth just like, oh, okay, that's interesting. So, usually when you hear stuff like that, the officials are messing up. So I said all that to say, we need full-time refs. That is definitely, I definitely think we need full-time refs at this point. I still, like I said, still don't think they could have done way worse this year. There's been a few calls these last few weeks where it's like, man, you guys are putting yourself in the spotlight. But at the end of the day, it happens. It's NFL officiating. I understand it can get messy. It's a football game too. Like I said, I don't envy their position at all. It's like really, really hard. It just sucks. Like we won't give refs full-time jobs. And one of the excuses is we don't give them full-time jobs. It's like, well, their other jobs pay them better. It's like, all right, then don't be an NFL ref. Go do your 401k as a lawyer and make triple digits a year instead of doing games on Sunday. I just think overall for the game would be better if they had full-time officials, and I hope they slowly start to work towards that because it's just I'm not going to say they ruin games, but they just, it takes the focus off it. Because, take away that, honestly, truly, take away what happened last night with, like what I said. Take away what Troy and Joe were complaining about. Take away the offsides jumping. It was a relatively good game. I had no complaints at all other than that one play, honestly. Other than that, like I said, I thought it was a really good game. The game started off with a pick six by big old Seiler. That was a great, awesome way to start the game out. Shout out to him for the interception. You should go watch the video if you haven't seen it. Just rip, it's a screenplay, and he gets it right in the gut, catches it, runs. There's a back view of it they have on X. Whew, so dope, man. It's so cool. But yeah, overall, it was like I said, I know I went way too long on the refs, and it made it seem like I was actually angry. I was not. I thought all the games were relatively good. I even won money off the Bills game with the Bills parlay. Shout out Bill Simmons. So it's like, I'm not negative at all. It's just, I'm thinking as a whole, the whole thing. It's just, I want to get it better. I want football to be better because football is king, and all these sports are just waiting for football to screw up so they can try to basically steal the spotlight back. They were just waiting. For a while, it was MLB. MLB was America's pastime. I would even argue NBA around 70s and 80s were probably more of America's pastime than football, and even in it had its troubles. Now, ever since football's been king, every sport's trying to find a way to, how do we overtake football? So I just want football to be better, man. But yeah, like I said, overall though, Monday night games, amazing. Way better than I thought they'd be, truly. I was shocked with how good they were. Tommy DeVito, game-winning drive. Oh! Yeah, hey, we're done with that ref talk. We're here to talk about Tommy damn DeVito and Will Levis and DeAndre Hopkins. Shout out DeAndre Hopkins, man. Absolutely went off. Derrick Henry had 2 touchdowns, but only had 34 yards on 17 carries. They were able to bottle them up decently, but D-Hop, 7 receptions, 124 yards, 1 touchdown. Got me in my fantasy playoffs. Him and Saquon finishing the deal, putting the dagger in. Shout out, man. D-Hop had a really good game. Derrick Henry was able to get 2 touchdowns as well. Will Levis didn't look horrible. 23 for 38, 327, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He was making plays when he needs to make it. I said this last night. I don't know if Will Levis is going to be a great quarterback in this league, but dude's a ball player. He gets himself I said this about Will. I actually said that about Tommy DeVito. My bad. Will Levis is a ball player, though. I will say that. He has been pretty good. Shout out Raheem Mostert. 96 yards and 21 carries, 2 touchdowns as well. Man, imagine you do a little Derrick Henry 2-time, Raheem Mostert 2-time, Titans win pregame. Swimming in green, boy. Shout out to somebody who took any 3 of those because those have been really good plays. Then, yeah, shout out to Green Bay Packers, man. They finally had a bad game. I've been saying this for now three. It's been about 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks since they got, like, hot. And I was sitting there. It's like, I don't see what everybody else sees. I still, for whatever reason, that team at the beginning of the year just hung with me. I could not just not think about that team at the beginning of the year. That was just like, after they beat the Saints, were just screwing me over by losing games dumb, making dumb decisions, doing this. Well, they did it all night and still had a chance to win. Saquon, the Giants got the ball. I mean, it was back and forth for a lot of the game. Saquon had 2 rushing touchdowns. Jaden Reed had a rushing touchdown himself. But it basically came down to Tommy DeVito threw a touchdown pass to, who is this? Isaiah Hodgins. In the fourth quarter, it was Carlson kicked a field goal. Giants basically, they kick a field goal 16-21. Giants basically got the ball. All they got to do is sit on it, basically. Get enough first down to sit on it. Saquon, man. Shout out Saquon. He had a really good game. He had 1 fumble. He made 1 mistake, and it almost cost us the game. Thankfully, it didn't. By the way, shout out Saquon, man. He has 3 fumbles and about I think it's like 1,477 carries or touches. That's amazing. I don't even want to do the math on that. That's almost like, that is very low percentage of fumble rate, so he's a stud for that. But no, Saquon, it was just a weird play where Saquon's basically finally breaks open a run. Breaks open another one. Breaks open a third run. And this third run, he's in open field. He basically gets just hit on the ankle just enough to kind of mess him up. He kind of regains himself. Then he stumbles and fumbles. Completely fumbles the ball. That's where it's like, the football gods are not going to like that one. I mean, it was just something, it was a freak play, pretty much. Like where the guy kind of tackles Saquon's ankle. He stumbles a little bit, catches himself. Takes like 1 or 2 steps, so just enough to get like reestablish himself, and then he falls down and like falls like this. Ball just hits the ground and fumbles. It was really, really just freaky. They go down. Giants go right down the field. Jordan Love completes a short pass to Malik Heath. Shout out the ref pulled his greatest WWE moment there. Basically, it's hitting the ground. Takes his time getting up, rolls up, and then boom, touchdown signal. I don't lie, it was kind of cool. Ref gets knocked over, took his time to give the touchdown signal. Everyone's sitting in anticipation. He knew the moment. He knew the spot. Shout out. And then this is where the Tommy goddamn DeVito, man. I'm going to read you this last drive. I thought it was truly, truly amazing. Last drive by that boy, Tommy DeVito. 8 play, 53 yards in a minute 30. Tommy DeVito pass complete to the right for 5 yards. Pass complete for 7 yards. Pass for 9 yards, and then this dime of a throw to Wando Robinson, pass for 32 yards, and then that led to the 3 runs, and they made field goal. I won't lie, this is the guy I was told about. I said, Rowan, I'm like, hey, he might not be the best player in the world, but this guy's a damn ball player. I mean, he already has a win under 2 minutes. There's some teams who go the whole year without their quarterback getting a 2-minute drive for the win. So the fact that Tommy DeVito was able to prove that he can do that, don't get me wrong, 17 for 21, 158 and 1. That ain't good stats. That is very, 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 very average quarterback play when it comes to stat-wise. But what he's not average at is I'll get situational. He had some good situational runs that kept his team in the game. He didn't give away the game. That's the biggest thing. Sure, he didn't have 300, 400 yards passing, but he didn't give away the game. That was the biggest thing. Saquon, 20 for 86, 2 touchdowns, 15 for 53 for A.J. Dillon, Quadzilla. But yeah, like I said, for Tommy DeVito, man, I'm really impressed by the kid. Last night showed me something. Don't get me wrong, I've had this Packers team a little bit lower than a lot of people have. So and their defense isn't the best. They didn't have Jair Alexander as well. But Tommy, like I said, he's a rookie. He's a rookie, and I read something on X about his situational awareness they learned from Coach Bielema. I'll admit, his situational awareness for rookie is pretty good. Shout out the Giants, man. Shout out the Titans. 2 huge upsets on Monday Night Football, which shout out my mother, won Pickem again. So she's making a little bit of a tear on Pickem, which is hilarious. It just shows you sometimes the NFL, some weeks it's just it can just be all guesswork sometimes. Yeah, no, this is definitely one of the weeks for sure about guesswork. Starting off Thursday night, Patriots win 21-18. Probably don't want to win. Zappy threw 3 touchdowns in the first half, and that's pretty much all they needed. Other than there was a Chris Boswell field goal in the first half, and then a touchdown pass from, I think it was Mitch threw this. I can't remember. Yeah, Mitch threw it to Deontay Johnson. Wasn't too bad, but Maserati Mitch, more like Mini Coupe Mitch. I don't know if Mitch is the guy, man. He had some plays here and there. I will give Mitch credit for the sea of booze that he got in the seas of booze he got in the game. Not saying if they're deserved or not. I'll admit, he's a tough dude. That'd be hard to play in, hearing yourself get booed that loudly, them chanting Mason Rudolph while you're still playing. It's just like, man, Steelers fans. Because I remember when Mason Rudolph was bad. So if they wanted him back in, it just shows you. I mean, Mitch, 22 for 35, 190, one touchdown, one interception. Literally had the same stats as Tommy DeVito, but Tommy DeVito was able to get them the win. Tommy DeVito passed for a little bit less yards, but Tommy DeVito was able to get them the win. Tommy DeVito, literally, situational football. 3rd and 2. This is the game for the Steelers. 3rd and 2. Don't run the ball, throw it, incomplete pass. 4th and 2. Action for the game, about a minute left. You don't got enough timeouts to get stops. Throw a go ball in 4th and 2. They threw 2 passes on 3rd and 2 and 4th and 2 instead of getting the first down. It feels like the Steelers just outplayed themselves in that game. Feels like the Steelers just outplayed themselves, and then also that the Patriots actually didn't. The Patriots did good enough in the first half to hold on the whole game, which is impressive by them. Also, shout out to TJ Watt, man. TJ Watt was 1,000% concussed. I don't know how they let him go back in. They're just like, oh. He took a knee to the head right away, so their solution was, we'll put a visor on him because the lights are hurting his head and everything, but he'll be okay if we put a visor on him. And then I think he got hit in the head again, so I don't know what's going to happen with him, but it felt like the football gods were not very happy when they did that. I won't lie to you, I might save this Ravens game for last. This is one of the best games of the day. I'll say they'll probably be that in the game, and then the Bills-Chiefs games will probably be the last 2 games to talk about. I'm just trying to... No, we'll talk about it first, actually. I lied. I'm going to go straight down the order of my sheet, so we're going to go pretty much through all the 1 o'clock games and then all the 4 o'clock games. So, yeah, Ravens-Rams was a barn burner. They were scoring every quarter. Every quarter there was a field goal or a touchdown by somebody. This is truly back and forth. This 37-31 finish, back and forth affair. In the 4th quarter, Justin Tucker field goal. LA Rams touchdown, Baltimore touchdown, LA Ram field goal. So that's what basically got them in overtime and everything. And then in overtime, the Rams, the biggest thing for the Rams this game was drops. A lot of drops. Lots and lots of drops. They had about 4 or 5 drops specifically that I remember talking to one of my buddies about where, they cost them the game pretty much. There's one, 3rd down in overtime. They throw it to, I'm not going to call the kid out. I can't remember his name off the top of his head. First game in the NFL, though. Matt Stafford throws a sidearm, hits him decently in the hands. He just drops it. I understand it's rainy conditions as well. Like I said, young guy, so I'm not going to fault him too much. So they got to punt it. They punt it away, whatever. The backup Turner for Baltimore's in. Misses one tackle. He makes one guy miss. It's like, all right. Makes another guy miss. It's like, all right. 3rd guy is like, okay. All of a sudden, he's down the sidelines, gone. Touchdown Ravens. Ravens win in overtime. Fourth overtime punt return in NFL history. 2nd one this year. Actually, I lied. There might be slightly more. Let me check my X real quick because I put it. I tweeted out about it. Yeah, 4th OT punt return and touchdown in NFL history. It's the 2nd one this season. Shout out the Jets for getting another one. Awesome. That was truly awesome finish to the game. I feel bad for my boy who ended up betting on the Rams who lost that one. That sucks, but overall, man, this was amazing game. Lamar 24 for 43, 316, 3-1. Matt Stafford 23 for 41, 294, 3-0. Damn near the same stats. Lamar just had the pick. Kyron Williams 114 on the ground. Odell Beckham had 4 receptions for 97 yards, a touchdown. Cooper Kupp 8 receptions, 115, a touchdown. This was a really fun game to watch. You didn't know what side was going to have it. It felt like there's multiple times that game you thought your team was going to lose if you're on, no matter what side you're on. There's multiple times you thought your team was losing. They make a play, you're like, okay, we're back. Another play, it's like, oh shit, they might be done. And when a game's like that, it's a lot of fun. So shout out to the Ravens, man. Big win, big win. Now they're number 1 in the AFC. And due to all the losses, they got now, I think, like a 1.5 to 2 game lead over a lot of teams. So they now are officially control your own destiny mode. They went out schedule-wise real quick. Jaguars, 49ers, Dolphins, Steelers. It's going to be tough. They go 2-2, honestly. Truthfully, they go 2-2. I don't know how the division is not theirs. They go 3-1. The 1 seed. They go 3-1. that 1 seed's all theirs. Like, if they only lost, like, to the 49ers or the, Dolphins, like, they only have one of those lost 2 teams. I don't see how they don't win the 1 seed. That Dolphins game's going to be a huge game because I think that's potentially going to be for the 1 seed the way the Chiefs have been playing. Saints, Panthers, 28-6. Derek Carr didn't do much of anything. 18 for 119 for 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Bryce Young had a lot of rushing yards, but didn't do anything offensively. This Carolina team's just putrid. The Saints, though, big win to get them back on track after they need to try to win the division. I think everyone's 6 and 7 pretty much in the division, so it's kind of up in the air. But I think the Falcons are the ones who control their destiny the most out of the division. I don't know. Well, I just remember one point Derek Carr had like 7 completions for 37 yards. That was like Army numbers. Yeah, shout out Alvin Kamara. He had a rushing touchdown. He didn't do too bad. I don't know. This Saints team looks, each week that goes by, the Saints team makes me wonder more and more. It's like, man, this like I just don't. Derek Carr got in an argument with his center. I don't know about what, so I'm not going to speculate. But usually you don't see offensive linemen holding back other offensive linemen going to the field. Like, yes, when they're off the field, there's no cameras on. They actually have a chance to talk to each other. Yes, they'll be back and forth with arguments. But you usually don't see somebody rip into them when they're coming off the field like that. There's something funky going on in New Orleans. I'll have to ask my boy. He had sights on the game. See if he know. I know what he's going to say, but I'll see if I know what my boy's going to say, but I want to know if he'll tell me what actually happened because I didn't see it too much. I just saw the end clip. But yeah, Saints play Giants, Rams, Bucks, Falcons, so 2 division games to end it. Realistically, they should beat the Giants. Then Bucks, Falcons, it's pretty much going to come down to beating one of those teams for the division. Colts lose by 20 to the Bengals. They had a chance to make it 10 at one point, and then just basically a guy fumbled into his own. They muffed the punt after Browning went out when they were down 10, and then it was over from there. I just don't even know how to describe this game, honestly. Bengals just won, honestly. I mean, it's just truly what it was. The Colts didn't play the best, and the Bengals just played slightly better. I mean, Gardner Minshew and Jake Browning basically have the legit same stats. It's just for whatever. They had the Bengals had 2 screenplays that gave them 14 points, damn near, because they had basically like a 30-yard screenplay and a 40-yard screenplay, and that pretty much was the game for the Colts. I mean, Colts got a return touchdown, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, no, not a very good game by the Colts. We'll just say that. That's basically the best way to explain that game. They just didn't play well. Like, I'm just sitting here trying to remember stuff in my head, and it's just like, yeah, they did not. They just didn't play well. Oh, yeah, they just didn't play well. Jags, Browns, this was oddly a weird game. It ended up being good. Kind of sad. I flipped this pick on Pickem. I flipped to the Jags because I thought Trevor Lawrence was going to play. And then I thought about it more. I heard he was going to play. It's like, I should have switched that back. Forgot to switch it back. But it might have it almost ended up working out anyway. It didn't matter. I wasn't going to win Pickem anyway. But how about Javen Njoku, man? 2 touchdowns. Joe Flacco, 311 passing yards with 3 touchdowns? Wow. I mean, Trevor Lawrence didn't play the best. 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He 28 for 50. I mean, it just felt like every time the Jags game like went on the red zone, every time I saw them, they just didn't like. It's not the Jags football I've been seeing this year. Like, they're just doing. Just felt weird. They had a backdoor situation where they didn't get the 2 point, so it didn't. I mean, they truly lost, but they should have lost by more. The fact they even had a chance of covering that game is honestly surprising with how bad they played. They just were able to linger around just enough. They do just enough to hang around. But, yeah, overall, that was a really impressive win by the Browns. It really sucks the Colts lost. Colts could have had a chance for their division if they would have won here. I mean, it's worst case scenario for the AFC South. Best case scenario for the AFC North, kind of. Like, both AFC North teams win, which is what they both need, and then both AFC. I guess it kind of works out for both because nobody really loses any positions because the Browns won and the Jags lost, but also the Bengals, they won, but the Colts lost. So when it comes to both sides and both of those, nobody I think really moves. It's just sort of a standstill, cancels each other out. But shout out to the Browns, man. Big win by Joe Flacco. Sounds like he's a starter for the rest of the year. But they moved into his practice squad. I don't know what the hell that is, but shout out Joe, man. Footsteps Flacco, baby. Making a return in the AFC North. I'll be very interested to see now what the Browns do. I think their schedule's fairly kind. They got the Bears, Texans, Jets, Bengals to finish out the year. That isn't the worst schedule. I tell you what, that ain't too bad of a schedule at all. Lions, Bears. Hey, man. These damn Bears, huh? Let me give a minute. Shout out the Bears, man. Truthfully. Shout out the Bears, man. They're actually, in the great words of Ludacris, balling out of control. I'm just kidding. I don't think Ludacris said that. But no, shout out to the Bears, man. They're actually playing really, really well these last few games. They're on a 2-game win streak as well. They just handled the Lions. It was 13-13 the second I bet on the Lions. They jump off sides on 4th and 13, and the Bears score a touchdown to DJ Moore. That pissed me off. It's like, of course. God damn it. But no, truthfully, the Bears have been playing a lot better. Justin Fields, 223 passing. I don't know what he did on the ground. I got to double check. He had a good, decent amount of rushing. The biggest thing with the Lions is the rushing quarterbacks kill them, man. Rushing quarterbacks absolutely kill them. For whatever reason. They just can't, for whatever reason, they just can't seemingly stop the rushing quarterbacks, which is just weird. You would think they would actually be able to. Like, they just, for whatever reason, rushing quarterbacks just absolutely torch them. And Fields does again. I mean, the Bears should have won last game, and they almost won this game. After, they almost won. I mean, the Bears should have won the first matchup, and then they easily just handled this one. I just got to give a shout out to the Bears, man. Truly, the Bears played really, really impressive. You can't play much better. You can't play much better than they've been playing lately, and it seems like he's saving his job. And by he, I mean Matt Eberflus. I won't lie, I think Matt Eberflus might have saved his job, honestly. Just the way they've been playing as of late, I don't see how they fire him now, but obviously there's a world where they do. What's up to see? I truly don't know. Shout out the Bears, though. I just want to get that out of the way. Shout out the Bears, man. They got a really big win in their division. They're 5-8. You would think they'd want to lose for their picks, but hey, I give them boys credit. They're fighting strong. What we got next? Falcons, Bucks. This was a sneaky good game as well. This came down to a last-minute drive. Baker Mayfield leads a game-winning drive to throw the Kate Otten for a touchdown. Mike Evans just misses out on scoring a touchdown. Hate to see it. Sorry, I thought he was going to do it, man. I really thought he was. I really hate to see it. Young-Ho Koo missed a kick. This weekend was the big weekend for missing kicks. A lot of kickers missed a lot of kicks this weekend. That was really weird and shocking. Like, a lot of kicks were missed. Matt Gay missed kicks, and he never misses. Younghoe Koo missed a kick or two. They were just missed after missed kicks, missed PATs. This was the day of the missed kicker for sure, which was really, really weird. But this game was back and forth. I mean, Desmond Ridder, 26 for 43, 47, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Baker Mayfield, 14 for 29 with 2 touchdowns. This was kind of like a sloppy-ish game. Like, it felt like there was a lot of empty calories. Like, everything feels like empty calorie-wise. Like, Bijan scored a touchdown, but he only had 34 yards rushing. But he had, like, 20 fantasy points, so he had a really good game. It felt like the yardage wasn't horrible for a lot of these teams. I mean, you see it's 25-29, so it was actually a decently good game. It felt like nothing felt right about this game. That's the easiest way to put it. Like, watching it. Like, I'm just sitting here looking at, like, 2 field goals to start out in the first quarter, and then you got touchdown, safety, touchdown, field goal to touchdown. It's just weird. Like, I just remember anytime I felt like I was looking at the game, it felt like these defenses were stopping and stuffing each other. Then you flip back a few plays later, and boom, highlight play. Somebody's making a bigger play. It's like, oh, what the hell? This is just a really, really weird NFC South game. But shout out to the Bucks, man. Winning gets them in first place in the division. I think the Saints. Yeah, they play the Falcons and the Saints. The Saints, the Bucks, and the Falcons all play each other. And those 3 teams are fighting for a playoff spot. So it's going to come down to those individual matchups. I'm excited, man. This is going to be a really, really exciting time in the NFC South. Truly, because they're all 6-7, and then there's the Panthers at 1-12. It's seriously going to come down to the last game of them playing each other. Jets, Texans, shout out Zach Wilson, man. CJ Stroud left with the concussion. I forget how early on, but this is 0-0 going in the half, and then the Jets just flipped it on. Zach Wilson played way better than CJ Stroud did. And that Jets defense still playing really good. It's just it might be too little too late. So I think all the AFC South teams lost other than the Texans, which is hilarious. Shout out the Texans for holding down the AFC South this week. But yeah, now the Jets moved to 5-8. I don't know if they're going to still be able to do anything with their season. I think it's just pretty much they're playing to figure out what they got to do better going into next year, I think, which, I mean, hey, not bad at all. 49ers, Seahawks, we can just go through this one quickly. Seahawks were able to hang around. Drew Lock played, by the way. Shout out Drew Lock. He didn't play too horrible. They were able to hang around just enough like concern you a little bit, but I don't think it was anything to like worry about. Jordan Mason vultured a touchdown from Christian McCaffrey after Christian McCaffrey brought him down there. Debo had 2 touchdowns. George Kittle had a touchdown himself. Brock Purdy didn't play too bad. 19 for 27, 368, 2 touchdowns. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, I think so. Shout out Drew Lock, man. 22 completions for 269, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Not a horrible game by Drew Lock either. McCaffrey, 16 for 145. He got basically 70 of that on 1 carry. So that always helps your average when you have a big carry like that. Shout out DK Metcalf, 2 receptions for 52 and a touchdown. And him and Fred Warner got into it a little bit. That was an awesome scuffle to see. But yeah, shout out the 49ers, man. Big win for them. They continue just to roll. They are the best team in the NFC. It's starting to look like them and the Cowboys. And then the Eagles are leading that second tier. And then it starts to drop a little bit. I'm not counting out the Eagles. There's a lot of people who are. I will admit, though, I am at this point very scared with how the Eagles have been playing. But I think they still got a shot to do something that makes some magic happen. But this 49ers team, if they're healthy, they're the team to beat right now. They look like men on a mission. Vikings 3, Raiders 0. Longest game in like 15 to 20 years where there's just no scoring. There's literally nothing to talk about in this game. Both teams just were absolutely horrible. This was a defense, like offensively at least. Defensively, this was a defensive battle. Josh Jacobs left the game semi-early-ish with injuries, so that kind of killed the running game for the Raiders. Devontae Adams had 7 for 53. Hawkinson had 5 for 53. I mean, there was just no offensive stats in this game, pretty much. It was a defensive battle all the way. The Vikings finally get a field goal at the end to kind of seal it. Shout out to the Ravens for somehow covering because instead of kicking a field goal, they did a pooch punt. The Vikings did. I'll take it, man. We'll take a cover any way we can, even though it was a push. It wasn't even a cover. It was a push. Broncos-Chargers. Broncos win 24-7. Justin Herbert fractured finger, probably done for the year is my guess. It's the way it sounds. Yeah, the second he went out, it was basically all over. Shout out Austin Eckler, finally getting in the end zone. I've bet him for 3 or 4 weeks, hasn't scored in a month, and finally scores when I don't take him. But no, I'm just kidding. The Chargers were pretty much toast from second they lost Herbert, they were pretty much toast. The Broncos look like they can play a little bit more. Cortland Sutton, man. Oh, my God, boy. I won't lie to you. There is a 50-50 shot he ends up in the Nasty Boy for the rest of the year, just out of, like, pure, like, hey, you got nasty this year, boy. I'm going to do an awards. I kind of want to do an awards for the Nastiest Boy of the Year. And it's basically the Nastiest Boy of the Year is going to be the guy who not only helped out the Nasty Boy parlay the most, but he was just like, I mean, it's odds-wise. Like, it's like a mix of the odds, mix of like what he did for us. I mean, Cortland Sutton's been plus money to score a touchdown every single time I've taken him, and by this point in the game he would have been again. I sadly didn't take him. I forgot I didn't take him that game. I also, by the way, last drive of the Titans game when D-Hop scored, plus 1,500. I'm staring at D-Hop to score. I just don't end up pulling the trigger. That one's going to hurt. Same with this Cortland Sutton one. I thought about taking Cortland Sutton for the game. I just totally spaced it and forgot. And then he had a sick one-handed catch where he just got the guy draped all over him, just goes, whoop, pulls it into his body. Nasty boy. Right now, he's a nasty. I won't lie. He might win the Nasty Boy of the Year. I can't wait to do my NFL award show. It's going to be a fun one. I won't lie to you. That's a surprise. I was going to save that for a few more weeks maybe to share it, but I'm just so excited for it. I was talking about it. I'm going to do awards basically at the end of the years. You know, it's like my personal MVP, So don't get me wrong. They could be in line with the NFL's. Like, I won't lie. Like Walter Payton Man of the Year, I'll probably straight up steal that from NFL. But I'm also going to have my own wacky little stuff, like I said, like the Nasty Boy of the Year, which Cortland Sutton is having himself a chance to do. Like, it's gonna be fun. I am very, very excited to do that. I'll do like worst team of the year, worst coach of the year, best coach of the year, best team of the year, best play of the year, stuff like that. I'm very excited. I'm starting to slowly map up that award show. That will be. The only thing is, I don't know if I want to wait till after playoffs because this is a little bit different than the NFL. Like, don't get me wrong. Like the NFL, they should end at the regular season, yes, because it's regular season awards versus playoffs. For me, that's the fun thing. It's like, do I want to make a regular season version of this and a playoff version of this, or do I want to just do one? That's a little bit of figuring out what I'm doing right now. But back to what I was saying. Shout out to the Broncos, man. 24-7, big win. 1 game back of the Chiefs. Who would have thought they would have said that? I put a tweet out next about it. 70-20. Imagine going back to week 3 after the 70-20 loss, and you go just pat Sean Payton in the back, pat Russell Wilson back. Hey, don't worry, boys. We'll be 1 game back. We'll be 1 game back of the Chiefs by December. Don't worry about it. I wouldn't have believed you. Like straight up. You told me the Chiefs, Broncos would have won the game back at the Chiefs. Like, all right, buddy, whatever. But no, hey, shout out to them, man. They were balling. Quickly talk about this game. Eagles basically just no-showed. They got a defensive touchdown. They got 2 field goals and a defensive touchdown. Their offense scored 0 points in a 33-13 ass whooping. Shout out CeeDee Lamb. I believe his NBA jam is still, scoring-wise, is still happening. So shout out CeeDee Lamb. He continues to just be decent. Brandon Cooks was basically, I might keep him on the nasty boy. I won't lie. His over was at like 40-something for the game, but for the last like few weeks, he's been hitting over 38, 37, 37. He hit 37 again, so he's going to be a borderline like he's going to be one of the first few guys this year where I have to see if the NBA Jam can still apply, because it's like technically no, he did not hit his over for the hit his over last game because they upped his over from what it's been hitting. So there's a little bit of an NBA Jam rule that we got to figure out. See if it's do we keep him with the NBA Jam if they boost the number up by like 5 to 10 yards, or does it not count because they didn't hit it technically? That's the whole thing I got to figure out. Last game of the day. Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs. Hey man, just know they screwed us, all right? I won't lie. You know you're mad when you just gotta tell everybody about it. Mahomes in the game, for those of you who don't know, went up to Josh Allen basically said, "Hey, they fucked us there, huh, bud?" And then they looked at Josh Allen, kind of gave him was hilarious. He's just sitting there like, "Hey, 13 seconds, 13 seconds." Nah, this truly was like not a bad game at all. James Cook opens up the score early. Josh Allen answers right back, making 14-0. Chiefs, Jerick McKinnon gets in the end zone. Then we go to the third quarter, field goal. Rashee Rice is able to get in the end zone. Butker kicks a field goal. We're all tied all of a sudden. And then this is where the fun happens. Field goal happens for Bills. I mean, this was back and forth. Like, I mean, it was like if the Bills have a chance to get ahead, they get to stop. Yeah, it was back and forth pretty much. Like if the Chiefs had a chance to take a lead, they went 3 and out. Buffalo had a chance to take a lead. 6 and out. Chiefs have a chance now. 6 and out. Bills have a chance. 3 and out. Chiefs get the ball back about 6 minutes left. You're like, oh, they got this. They punt it away again, and then that ends up with the Buffalo field goal. So then it leads to the play that I'm sure everyone's seen. Kadarius Toney lined up over the ball, way off sides. Everyone can agree, way off sides. And then they pass to Travis Kelce. He's wide open. Coolest lateral play of all time that's never, ever going to count. Man, that is tough, boy. I won't lie, that is tough. Tough look. Kadarius Toney, man, he's just been, I don't want to say he's been losing them games because obviously it's like it's a whole team thing. It should never come down to one. I mean, obviously it sometimes will happen to one guy losing you the game, but realistically in the best case scenario world, it should never come down to one play and one guy losing you the game. But I won't lie, Kadarius Toney at least has had 2 or 3 plays this year where it's like, I think the Chiefs might win if you just don't be a dummy. Just lining up offsides. Apparently, Andy Reid, I don't know how true this is, but Andy Reid came out, I think, and said, like, he never checks with the official. He just lines up. If that's the case, boy, you need to start checking, because that is, cost his team the win, man. Truly, him being offsides cost him the team the win. I know Mahomes blew up on the ref. I won't lie. I think Mahomes just finally, like, I don't want to say he's broken, but I think he finally just mentally lost it. And he finally had a chance to take it out on the refs, because, seriously, it was bad. I think he's just fed up. I think he's truly just finally fed up. He just blew up pretty much on the refs, slamming his helmet and all this. And I won't lie, between you and me, I just think he's frustrated with all the drops. I think everything has just gotten to him. This is the most pressure I think he's been on ever in his career. I mean, his weapons are a lot down. Travis Kelce has, I'm not going to say he's bad, but he's just showing shades of being older. Like, he's just like a quarter of a step behind of what he used to be, it seems like, on every play. And it's happens when you get old. It seems like he's just slowly behind. It feels like sometimes the Chiefs just aren't clicking just right. And then you have these plays like with Toney, and you have the plays where MVS gets tackled, they don't call it. I just think finally Mahomes just hit a point where he just and just losing his mind. Absolutely losing his mind. You saw it on the sideline. I think he just finally hit the point where he just mentally has lost it, and he's just very frustrated with how the season's gone and everything, which I can't blame him. Like I said, they've had a rough season. So, yeah, I think that's going to do it for describing the game. I mean, that's basically every score of the game. Playoff-wise, I'll just read it real quick. Standings. Here we go. 1 seed is the Ravens at 10-3. 2 is the Dolphins 9-4. 3 is the Chiefs 8-5. 4 Jags 8-5. Browns are the first wild card at 8-5. Oh man, I was about to say, I'm sitting there. It's like, who are they? Like, who in their division is behind? They're in first 8-5. Ravens, duh. Steelers 7-6 right there, and the Colts 7-6. But we got Houston Texans, Denver Broncos, Cincinnati Bengals, Buffalo Bills, all 7-6. right there behind the Colts. By the way, there's 13 teams. It might have changed now after the games yesterday, but there was, as of yesterday, before the games, there's 13 teams that are 7-6 or 6-7 this year. Yeah, that is insane. Go to the NFC. 49ers 1 seed, 10-3. Cowboys second, 10-3, so they're right there behind them. But Lions are 9-4. Bucks are 6-7. Wow, I can't believe the Cowboys beating them. Eagles 1 seed in the wild card at 10-3. That is insane that they're in the wild card. 10-3 in the wild card. That's great. That's some NFC for you. 7-6 for the Vikings, and then 6-7 for the Packers, and then Rams, Seahawks, Falcons, and Saints are all 6-7. I'll shout the Giants at 5-8 because they're right there, and Bears are 5-8, potentially right there, able to steal a spot. I mean, they're all right there, man. It's going to be a wild one to finish it out. I believe. You know what? That's probably going to do it for today. I won't lie to you. I think I'm all good. I think I've touched on everything NFL-wise we really need to talk about. I don't think there's any more news versus. I don't think there's any more news I really need to give out. The Giants are on a 3-game winning streak now, though, so shout out to them. I don't know what's going to happen with Tyreek Hill with his injury. He's able to come back and play on it, so I don't know what that's going to mean for later on. Shout out to the 49ers as well, by the way. With the Packers' loss and them winning, they clinched a playoff spot already. I think they are the first team to clinch, I believe, so shout out to them. That is pretty impressive to clinch already. But yeah, I think that's about it for the NFL. So that's going to do it for me. For you. I'll see pretty much everybody. I can't wait, man. Thursday, 1, 2, 3. Wait, hold on. Let me redo this again. Thursday, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 college football games to talk about and break down. I don't know what I'm going to take exactly yet. We'll have to see. 7 games to talk about and break down in the college world. Now, other than that, will be in the NFL Week 15, man. NFL Week 15. By the way, my boy Rowan's been sick for the past few days. That's why you haven't seen him on. Of course, I think the week before last week, I just got busy at doing some other stuff. Couldn't make the time to get on, sadly. And then last week he was sick. So hopefully, look out for Friday or Saturday. We can have some hump day hoops. And by hump day hoops, I mean Friday or Saturday hoops because it's not on Wednesday. We'll probably be talking some hoops hopefully this weekend. Assuming he's feeling better and he has the time. I need to double check with him on that. I would love to get him back on. Been a minute since we talked about college hoop. But yeah, Thursday, man, we're going to hop right into the normal stuff, the Pickem, NFL bets, college football bets, and then talk about some NFL games that are going to be happening, man. I'm really excited. Thank you all for watching. It was a fun one day. Thank you for all the support. I'm excited, man. It's been a fun season. It's truly been really exciting. It's hard to believe that we only have a month left till playoffs. Ready to get the home stretch, baby. I'm really excited. So thank you all for watching. I will see everybody in this feed on Thursday to go over, like I said, college football, NFL bets, NFL Pick'em, baby. I'll see everybody on Thursday. Hope everyone has a good week. See you then.